That is not something that any German has ever heard before. It's just a made-up word. Why? How I Met Your Mother. You know that there is a problem there when me as a German native speaker, I have to read the subtitles to understand what he's saying. Do you guys want to know how to make a German accent? Because I can actually make a video on that and basically teach you guys how to do an actual German accent. This part is just, whew, goosebumps in the worst possible way. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. Now, I think I've mentioned this a few times in my videos that in Germany, non-German speaking movies and TV shows are usually dubbed. The German dubbing industry is really big actually, and really professional too. So if you want to see a Hollywood movie at the movie theater in Germany, it'll be dubbed, with only a few exceptions where they show it in the original version. Same goes for movies that are broadcasted on TV. So for me growing up, whenever there were Nazis or any other German-speaking characters in the movie, it didn't really stand out to me at all because everyone was speaking German anyway in the dubbed version. But nowadays I watch English-speaking movies in the original, of course, because I can understand it, and I noticed how many German characters there are in movies, mostly in the historical ones, but also in sitcoms sometimes, and it's really interesting for me as a German to listen to the accents of the German characters, because they don't always cast German native speakers for those roles for some reason. And, you know, just paying attention to what they're saying, what the word choice is, and of course what their accent sounds like is just really interesting for me. So I thought it would be fun to check out some of the most famous German scenes or Germany-related scenes in big Hollywood movies and some TV shows and react to them as a German native speaker. Some of these scenes were actually suggested by you guys because I asked you on Instagram for input and I got a lot of suggestions. So yeah, let's just start with the first one. So this scene is from Django Unchained by Quentin Tarantino, and in this scene we can see Christoph Waltz, who is a native Austrian, so like he'll definitely be able to speak German, and he plays a German dentist named Dr. Schultz, who is now a bounty hunter in the US, and he's traveling with the freed slave Django, and then they come up with a plan to rescue Django's wife Brumhilde, played by Kerry Washington, and in this scene, Christoph Waltz explains the situation to Brumhilde in German in case someone else is listening, and she knows German because her former owners were Germans.
The doctor here speaks German.
And I've been informed you do as well?
Go ahead, girl. Speak a little German.
Es wäre mir ein Vergnügen, mit dir auf Deutsch zu sprechen.
Astonishing.
Sounds so shy when she says it. Please come inside, Fräulein. By the way, quick note, a lot of people, I know also a lot of my viewers actually like to address me or other younger women as Fräulein. And just for your information, they do this in the movie, and it used to be a thing back in the day, but for a few decades now, that word is not used anymore. Fräulein would be, like, the equivalent in English would be Miss, kind of. In French, it would be Mademoiselle. So it's like, you know, the address for an unmarried woman back in the day. But nowadays, we don't use that anymore. So if you do, it might be perceived as impolite almost in a way, kind of like looking down on someone. Like, we'll use it in a kind of sarcastic way, or like when your parents are mad with you, they might say like, komm mal her, junges Fräulein, in like not a nice tone, you know? So yeah, just for your information, don't address modern Germans with Fräulein. It's not necessarily a polite thing to do nowadays.
Darf ich Ihnen ein Glas Wasser einschenken?
Okay, now the German conversation starts.
Ich spreche jetzt nur für den Fall mit Ihnen Deutsch, dass Candys Leute uns zuhören. Ein gemeinsamer Freund von uns beiden und ich haben einige Mühen auf uns genommen, sind viele Meilen geritten, um Sie zu finden, mein Fräulein. Um Sie zu retten.
Ich habe keine Freunde.
Oh, doch, die haben Sie. Er steht direkt hinter dieser Tür. Versprechen Sie mir, dass Sie nicht schreien werden. Sagen Sie. Ich verspreche es.
Ich verspreche es.
Okay, so obviously, as I said, Christoph Waltz does sound like an authentic native German speaker. He was born in Vienna. What I found interesting is that you really can't hear that he's Austrian. I mean, you can hear it maybe slightly here and there, but he doesn't have a strong Vienna accent. So I'm wondering if like at the beginning of his acting career, he kind of had to get rid of that accent. Because like, even though Austrians do speak German, there are a lot of very, very heavy dialects in Austria. Vienna isn't one of those super heavy dialects, but their accent is very strong actually. Like just their pronunciation is very different. So yeah, I also always wonder if it's weird or how it feels for a German or like, you know, any kind of actor who went to Hollywood at some point and who basically plays all the roles in English usually to suddenly speak your native language on set with probably not a lot of people around you actually understanding what you're saying, you know? I don't know if that's like weird or if it's a cool experience. But anyway, obviously Kerry Washington also speaks German in this scene. And the cool thing is that I had no clue. I've actually never seen the movie. I know, shame on me. But when she spoke German, she definitely had an accent, but she had more of a French accent. So I'm just wondering if that's like, you know, on purpose, if that was like part of the background story here, or if that's just how she naturally speaks German. I checked out a few interviews and she actually said that she learned German for the first time just for this role and she took German lessons to do so. And she also said that it was a pretty difficult experience, which, yeah, I can see that. German is not the easiest language to learn. Okay, next up we have a scene from Ocean's 8. And in this scene we're gonna see Sandra Bullock and Heidi Klum. So let's see.
Sorry, we're a little backed up today. Your name? Hilde Schneider.
There she is. Hilde Schneider.
Oh, here it is. Have a good night.
Danke. Das ist ziemlich voll, ne?
Oh, Entschuldigung. Macht nix. Wow, ich liebe dein Kleid. Ach, danke.
Ist alt, aber sag's niemand.
I love how she says, ich liebe dein Kleid, because it's like the German translation of I love your dress. The funny thing though is that we don't say that in German really. Even though like Heidi Klum might actually say that in real life because she's lived in the US for so long that she might literally translate things from English that we don't usually say naturally in German. But it's just funny because like, yeah, we wouldn't say that. We would probably just say your dress is pretty or something like that, if anything, because Germans aren't usually that outgoing anyway. Like we don't usually approach strangers a lot.
Dann mach ich dich.
Oh Gott.
Damentoilette.
Excuse me, we need to...
Nein! Damentoilette, Damen!
Damentoilette, which means ladies' room.
That's good. Okay, you're right on the edge of the blind spot.
Okay, that was it. So I've actually talked about Sandra Bullock's German before in my video where I reacted to American celebrities speaking German. You can click on it somewhere up here. But yeah, Sandra Bullock was actually born in the US. I mean, she's officially an American actress. She was born in Virginia, but she did grow up in Germany partly and also in Austria for the first 12 years of her life because her mom was a German opera singer and then her dad was an American in the military, which is like the typical story, you know, army child kind of. But yeah, most of the time she lived in Nuremberg, and she actually says about herself that she has a Franconian, so a Fränkisch accent, which I didn't really hear that in the last video where I reacted to her, and I didn't really hear that here either, even though she only had a few sentences here, so she'd be able to hide it. But yeah, she pretty much sounds like a native speaker here. She might have like a 1 or 2% accent, if, I don't know, is that a thing to measure accents in percent? But, you know, it's kind of like I would think that she's from somewhere else in the German-speaking world, maybe, you know, from Austria or somewhere else in Germany or from Switzerland. I wouldn't think that she's an American. So, yeah, obviously she is very good at speaking German. And then Heidi Klum, if you guys didn't know that, you probably did, is fully a German model. Yeah, she just became very, very famous. So then eventually she moved to the US for her career. But yeah, she's German and she's also very present in the German media. I know she has like her shows on American TV, and she's a judge for America's Got Talent, but she also has a model show in Germany called Germany's Next Top Model, and yeah, as I said, she's just very present on German TV and in the German media. Okay, so next up we have Inglourious Basterds, the infamous bar scene that I'm assuming a lot of you guys have seen before. But before we check that out together, I want to say thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. As you guys probably know, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of video classes on literally all different kinds of topics, whether it's something that you've always wanted to learn or something that you kind of know the basics of, but you want to become a pro, or you might just discover a whole new passion while browsing through all the Skillshare classes. You'll find classes on how to make videos like I do, or how to be a photographer or graphic designer, but they also have yoga classes, for example, or language classes. They have classes on coding or on how to become a pro at presenting data in Excel. Whatever topic you're interested in, Skillshare has something for you. And since Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, there are no ad breaks and they're always launching new premium classes. For those of you who are interested in things like social media, I found this really cool class called Context is Key, Social Media Strategy in a Noisy Online World, taught by Gary Vaynerchuk, who is a huge internet personality. And his class looks really interesting, especially because he focuses on all different social media platforms separately, and he also encourages you to work on a practice project along with the class. If you want to check out all these amazing classes on Skillshare too, be sure to check out the description below, because the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link will get 30% off an annual premium membership. And even if you've already had a free trial of Skillshare, you can still take advantage of this offer to get a full year of unlimited learning and creative exploration. Okay, so now let's check out Inglourious Basterds, and as I said, this is the bar scene where the Bastards go undercover as Nazis to meet up with Bridget van Hammersmark, who is their German contact, and she knows their true identity, but the rest doesn't, and a very drunk Nazi soldier in the basement picks up on Michael Fassbender's accent when he speaks German, and he asks where he's from, and then this other Nazi, who's a lot less drunk and more in a senior position, keeps questioning him.
Hammersmark, was führt Sie nach Frankreich?
Das geht Sie nichts an, Oberfeldwebel. Sie haben vielleicht nicht die Gastfreundschaft des Fräuleins mit Ihrem betrunkenen, rüpelhaften Benehmen strapaziert, aber sehr wohl die meine. Darf ich Sie erinnern, Oberfeldwebel? Sie sind Soldat, das ist ein Offizierstisch. Ich schlage vor, dass Sie das Fräulein nicht weiter belästigen und an Ihren Tisch zurückkehren.
Entschuldigen Sie, Hauptsturmführer, Sie haben einen sehr ungewöhnlichen Akzent. Woher kommen Sie?
Sie müssen entweder betrunken sein oder völlig verrückt, dass Sie es wagen, mit einem Vorgesetzten so unverschämt zu sprechen, Oberfeldwebel.
Ich mache Sie und Sie verantwortlich. Sie greifen jetzt Ihren Freund oder er wird meinen ersten Geburtstag wegen Trunkenheit in der Öffentlichkeit im Gefängnis verbringen.
Dürfte ich mich vielleicht erkundigen?
Uh-oh. Okay, before we keep watching, obviously the blonde woman that hasn't said anything yet is played by Diane Kruger, Kruger, who is actually a native German, and then also the guy who just yelled to Schweiger is also a German actor that you guys might know from other Hollywood movies, but he's also a very popular German filmmaker. He's made a lot of romantic comedies and has kind of set a new standard, or like a new style of romantic comedies in Germany. Not everyone loves his movies. A lot of people criticize them a lot. A lot of people don't like him as an actor because he mumbles a lot when he speaks German. But I always really like seeing actual German actors in these movies. Like, that's really cool. It's about to go down.
Wie unser frisch gebackener Vater hier habe auch ich ein sehr genaues Ohr für Akzente. Und wie er finde ich Ihren äußerst seltsam. Woher stammen Sie, Hauptsturmführer?
Sturmbannführer, ich finde es höchst...
Ich habe nicht mit Ihnen gesprochen, Obersturmführer München. Und auch nicht mit Ihnen, Obersturmführer Frankfurt. Ich spreche mit dem Hauptsturmführer heimatlos hier.
It's like super tense.
Ich bin in einem Dorf geboren, das im Schatten des Pitzpalü liegt.
Dem Berg?
Ja. In dem Dorf sprechen alle so. Haben Sie den Riefenstahl-Film gesehen?
Ja.
Dann haben Sie mich gesehen. Erinnern Sie sich an die Schießszene mit der Fackel?
Ja.
In dieser Szene spielen ich, mein Vater, meine Schwester und meine 2 Brüder. Mein Bruder sieht so gut aus, dass der Regisseur Papst eine Großaufnahme von ihm gedreht hat.
Herr Major, wenn mein Wort etwas gilt, ich kann mich voll und ganz dafür verbürgen, was der junge Hauptmann hier behauptet. Er stammt wirklich vom Fuße des Pitzpalü. Er war in dem Film und sein Bruder sieht wesentlich besser aus als er.
Oh gosh, she just plays that tension so well.
Sie sollten mal besser zu Ihren Freunden zurückkehren. Meine Herrschaften, darf ich mich zu Ihnen setzen?
Gerne.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't native German speakers, everyone here speaks perfectly clear native German. They're all native speakers, except for Michael Fassbender, obviously, who isn't supposed to be a native German speaker in the movie and who isn't a native German speaker in real life. Okay, so now comes the part where things are going south.
3 Gläser.
Uh-oh.
Auf ein 1000-jähriges deutsches Reich.
Okay, so because he made this gesture to order 3 glasses, they get busted because the skeptical Nazi here knows that Germans show 3 like this, and only British people or American people show 3 like this. And so yeah, he knows that this guy is not a native German, and then they start shooting and so on. I actually played with those little cultural differences in my second video on my channel. I'm not necessarily encouraging you guys to watch that. I find it really hard to watch my old videos, but I mean, you know, just don't judge me. But I actually started the video with that because, like, as I said, Germans do it like this, Americans and other nations do it like this, which honestly I do not find this comfortable to do. Like, even though like when I'm here, I do this a lot more because, you know, it's just the culture, I adapt to the culture, but this is a lot more comfortable to do, honestly. But yeah, so the cool thing about the scene is that Michael Fassbender's German is really, really good, and his pronunciation is really good, and it's really just this slight thing, just like it's supposed to be in the movie. So the reason that he's able to play it like this is that he has a German dad, his mom is Irish, and he was actually born in Germany, in Heidelberg, but then he moved to Ireland when he was only 2, so he didn't really, you know, grow up in Germany. He grew up in Ireland, and then for this movie, he actually worked with a language coach. But yeah, he did a really good job to kind of get this little nuance in there, but it's not too heavy. It's pretty cool. I'm also interested to know if the non-German speakers among you could hear his accent. Did you hear like a difference between the other German speakers and him? Let me know in the comments below, because I think it's probably really hard to hear that. Okay, next up we have 2 scenes from How I Met Your Mother, which is a sitcom that you guys probably know, and you might have heard me say that it's one of my favorite shows of all time. So yeah, let's check it out.
Heidi, Klum! I can do this. Do this.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Heidi Klum, I'm Barney.
Hi, Barney. Nice to meet you.
Goobity, 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 goobity.
Is he okay?
He has the yips. Hasn't been able to hit on a woman all night.
He has the yips? Ooh, that's bad. You know, in Germany we call this, ach du meine Güte, gar nichts klappt mehr so mehr. I said, whoa, that is bad.
He just found out that the woman he lost his virginity to only did it because his brother bribed her.
Ooh, that's a rough one. I mean, the only thing I can think of to get rid of, ach du meine Güte, nichts klappt mehr, überhaupt gar nichts mehr so mehr, is you have to go out there and you need to find that woman and you need to earn it with her for real. That is the only way how you can find yourself.
Okay, so the funny part about this is that, first of all, obviously Heidi Klum is an actual German. We just talked about her before. But this word is obviously, it's not a real German word. I can't even remember it now. I think she said, ach du meine Güte, gar nichts klappt mehr, so eine Scheiße, which like they censored Scheiße, so like it sounded really, really weird. And I mean, I do understand that like to other cultures, the humor part of this, the funny part about this is that a German word is just going to be extremely long, which in this case, it would have been funnier if they had come up with an actual German word, which they didn't. Like, this is just a made up word that doesn't even make any sense, honestly. Like, it's not even a word, actually. It's just a sentence. She just said a sentence very quickly. But yeah, I think I've said this before just like as some background information. German words are usually that long because when we create compound words in our language, such as, you know, something simple would be school bus or high school or, you know, something like that. I don't know why I'm thinking about school right now. But in German, whenever we put two words together to form a new word, we don't leave a space in between. And so like, the more words you put together, the longer the word becomes without any space in between, if that makes sense.
I see little hamburgers. I love little hamburgers. Wiedersehen.
Wow. Yeah. I just made out with Heidi Klum.
No, you didn't.
Ted, just okay.
Just okay. Okay, and then here is another scene where there's actually a German character who isn't played by a German actor. So this is towards the end of the show, I think in the last season or last 2 seasons. A lot of Germans are very unhappy about this.
Excuse me.
Oh, hey, it's you. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure what kind of vibe I was given off before, but I am not interested in your schnitzel.
No. God, no. I just have one quick question. Victoria seems like a great girl. Why wouldn't you want to marry her?
Okay. Victoria ist wunderbar. I'm sorry. Wunderbar is a German word for wonderful.
Yeah, no,
Oh, you speak German. Sie sprechen Deutsch. Ich habe keine Freunde, die Deutsch sprechen in Amerika. Und ich mag nicht so einsam.
No. Just the one word.
Okay, first thing I have to say, I, to this day, do not understand why every American knows the German word wunderbar. Let me know in the comments below if you know why that German word is so famous. But also, like, of course, he starts speaking German really fast suddenly, which I guess is, like, supposed to be funny. Like, I don't know if that's, like, a cliche about Germans. Anyway, you can hear clearly from the beginning that he is not a native German speaker, not even close. No. So I just don't understand, honestly, in this case, why they couldn't cast a native German speaker as the actor. But yeah.
Okay. Victoria. There is a word in German. Lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz. And the closest translation would be lifelong treasure of destiny. And Victoria ist wunderbar. But she is not my lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz. She is my beinahe leidenschaftliche Gegenstand. You know? You know wunderbar, but you don't know beinahe leidenschaftliche Gegenstand? That's something we learn in kindergarten.
Whew,
I'm sorry,
that is not even a word.
No, I know that one.
Oh, okay, but you don't know beinahe leidenschaftliche Gegenstand. You are maddeningly inconsistent.
No.
It means the thing that is almost the thing that you want. But it is not quite. Das ist Victoria to me.
Okay, I have to interrupt this. So here's what he said. The first word that he used, lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz, is what he wanted to say, which, as he translated, is supposed to mean lifelong treasure of destiny, which, as I said, it's a compound word, so they put it just all together in German. It's not actually a real German word, though. That is not something that any German has ever heard before. It's just a made-up word. I mean, it makes sense if you hear it, like you can pick up what the meaning is supposed to be, but it's not a German word that anyone uses. Also, he doesn't even pronounce it correctly. He says like Schicksalsschatz, which like he just, you know, messes up the consonants in there. Instead of Schicksalsschatz, he says like Schicksalsschatz. I can't even imitate it. Anyway, the second word that he says, I actually have to go back and listen to it again because that one is also a made-up word, but it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I just listened again and I still don't fully understand it. I think beinahe leidenschaftlicher Gegenstand or beinahe lebensschaftlicher Gegenstand. Honestly, I don't even understand what he's trying to say. Either way, it makes zero sense. It's kind of like almost passion object, which, what? No? We're not gonna make that a word. That sounds really wrong in so many ways. And the other one, like, didn't even make sense. It sounded like the other version that I understood sounded like almost, and then something life, and then something object. And I didn't even understand what the middle part would have been. So yeah, why How I Met Your Mother? I really love this show so much, but this part is just, whew, goosebumps in the worst possible way. The funny thing is also that even in the German dubbed version, they kept the first word, the lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz, because like, even though he's like already speaking German and he uses that word, it still makes sense that he explains the word afterwards, because as I said, it's not an actual German word. But then the second one, because it makes zero sense, and if anything sounds kind of like wrong and like sexist almost, they translated that with a different German word, which, like, you know, if the German dubbed version has to translate the German word from the original script into something else, you already know you did something wrong. So they actually translated it into beinahe ein und alles, so that would be kind of like my almost everything. And then another really funny thing is that in the German dubbed version, they actually gave him a Saxony dialect or Saxony accent, because he's obviously supposed to have a funny sounding accent in the original version. But if, you know, the whole thing is already in German, they try to accomplish this by giving him a German accent that within Germany is considered to be kind of like funny sounding, and it's also, I think, ranked the least sexy dialect within Germany. No offense to all people from Sachsen, but yeah, that's what the surveys say. Okay, next up we got a scene from X-Men First Class, which I've never seen before, so let's check it out.
Diese Nazis, ich bin nicht so wie die. Die Gene sind der Schlüssel, das schon. Aber ihre Seele, blaue Augen, blonde Haare, einfach erbärmlich.
I mean, okay, he's really good. You can definitely hear that he's not a native speaker, which he's not, and I know that he actually took classes specifically for this movie, and this is Kevin Bacon, by the way. But yeah, his accent, at first I was like, maybe this could like go through as some kind of regional German accent, but then I listened more and it sounds pretty, you know, either like a Dutch accent or like an English native speaker accent. Yeah.
Ich will meine Mama sehen.
Okay. Same for him. Same for him.
Die Gene sind der Schlüssel, der die Tür zu einer neuen Zeit öffnet, Erik.
Okay, you know that there is a problem there when me as a German native speaker, I have to read the subtitles to understand what he's saying.
Neue Zukunft für die Menschen.
I feel like, though, if you're not a German native speaker, you might think that this is authentic, because I feel like he got the sentence melody and everything pretty right, but he just didn't pronounce the words in a way that I'm able to understand them as a native speaker. Okay, now let's check out how Brad Pitt is doing with German.
He too wants a prisoner to question.
This is from the movie Furry from, I think, 2014.
Oh, I'll question him. Was ist deine Lieblingsfarbe? Bist ein guter Tänzer? Stehst auf dicke Weiber?
Step back! Bringen Sie mir heißes Wasser. Los. Wie heißt du, junges Mädchen?
Emma.
Okay, she's German. Okay, so obviously Brad Pitt is supposed to be an American soldier in this movie, so he's not supposed to sound like a native speaker, but I do have to say that he actually did a really good job. Like, I had no problem understanding what he was saying. Like, yeah, he did have an accent, but he did really well. And he actually mentioned in a few interviews that he likes the language and has an interest in speaking it, so that's pretty cool. That's maybe also why he did a really good job. Next up, we have a sitcom again. This is Scrubs, which is also one of my favorite shows, by the way. And there are different scenes in here. Sometimes it's Sarah Chalke, who plays Elliot in the show. And then there's also a patient who's supposed to be German.
You speak German. I have a patient from Berlin, and I need to tell the gentleman that he has fluid in his lungs.
Ihre Frau hat einen schönen Busen.
Ihre Frau hat einen schönen Busen.
Schönen Busen.
Ihre Frau hat einen schönen Busen.
Was hast du gerade gesagt?
Schönen Busen. How are you?
Okay.
Some things deserve.
So Sarah Chalke does have an accent. She grew up in Vancouver, Canada, so she never actually lived in Germany, but her mom is from Germany. She's from Rostock, and she has mentioned in other interviews that, you know, she used to spend like her summers there with her grandparents. But yeah, she definitely has an accent. I mean, I can still understand her pretty well. What's also funny though is that the patient, I mean, he only had a really short sentence, but he definitely wasn't a native German speaker. The very first word, I could just hear it, where he said was instead of was. And that's not a Berlin dialect either. That's a very American dialect or accent.
Deserve to be tossed out on their asses.
Schönen Busen.
Schönen Busen.
Unfortunately, Mr. Mueller doesn't speak a word of English.
Mr. Mueller.
Hi, Mr. Mueller.
Okay, so Mueller, how they pronounce it would be Müller if you pronounced it the German way.
Warum so kalt hier? Ich sollste eine Heizgebräu dabei haben.
What?
Oder eine brustige Krankenschwester bei mir unter die Bettdecke.
What?
Danke.
What are you dunking you for?
I don't know.
Okay, so obviously he's supposed to be German, and I think I looked it up before, and it said that this actor is American, but has German parents or something like that, or one German parent, I don't remember. Anyway, he has a pretty strong accent, actually, and if anything, he sounds like maybe, I don't want to say Dutch again, it might be even something like Danish or something like that, like kind of sounds like a Danish person speaking German, but he absolutely 100% does not sound like a native German speaker. I didn't even understand everything he said, so I just don't understand it. Like, why do the producers of these shows not cast a German native speaker for a small role like this?
I am Rolf's brother, Herman.
Herman the German. You must get that all the time.
Herman the German.
No, first time.
Oh.
Let's hope it catches on.
I could really use your help translating.
Oh, sure.
I got the results back from your biopsy.
Die werden dich zunehmen.
The lesions in your liver
So sieht so aus,
are
als ob du
consistent with metastatic pancreatic cancer.
Metastatic pancreatic Krebs hast.
Oh my god, okay. That was completely wrong grammar. That didn't even make, I mean, it kind of made sense, I guess, but it was just wrong grammar. And he also didn't translate it step by step. You know how, like, the doctor, JD, tells him, like, the first part of the sentence, and he also said something afterwards, but he didn't translate that first part, if you know what I mean. Yeah, just no, Scrubs, no.
Obwohl es sich schon sehr gebessert hat, sollten Sie sich trotzdem bewusst sein, wie ernst Ihre Lage ist.
Also, warum hat mein Bruder mir verlobt?
He wants to know why his brother lied to him.
What? No, he doesn't. What? Okay, her German is a lot better than his German. Warum hat mein Bruder mir verlobt? That is not even a German word. That does not mean to lie. No, that he made that word up. What? Okay, next up is a scene from this movie called Jojo Rabbit, which is a pretty recent movie, I think 2019, and I had never heard of this or seen this, and they don't actually speak German in it, but they do, it's like a Nazi setting, so let's check it out. A lot of you guys suggested it, that's why I put it in here.
Frau Bessler, you're looking fetching as usual. Oh! Okay, wow.
It's because of you my son can't walk properly and has a messed up face.
He's still angry leg. Just took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are going to look after him while I'm at work? Make sure he has a job and feels included. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, hold on. I mean, I don't know the movie at all, right? So I don't know if she's supposed to have a German accent or a British accent, but it sounds more like a British accent than a German accent. So if she's trying to sound German, she's not doing a great job. Actually, do you guys want to know how to make a German accent? Because I can actually make a video on that and basically teach you guys how to do an actual German accent, because I feel like a lot of Americans do this pretty wrong in my opinion. Anyway, let's keep watching, but let me know in the comments below.
Good.
Guys, this is Johannes Betzler, the kid I told you about. Remember, he stole a hand grenade and blew himself up, and as a result I got demoted for negligence. Now I get to work in this office with all these wonderful kids.
So, Jojo, I'm sure we can figure out something for you to do.
Oh.
Ideas?
Yeah.
Guys?
Yeah.
Band.
Okay, well, we need somebody to walk the clones.
Also, I think maybe he could hand out this new propaganda and deliver these conscriptions.
I don't suppose I could be...
so her German accent is actually a lot better. But again, I don't know if Scarlett Johansson is even supposed to have a German accent. But yeah, her German accent was a lot better. I'm totally lost with this movie. If you guys have seen it and if it's actually good, let me know. I don't know if I want to check it out. But we're going to get to the last scene now, which is from another sitcom, The Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon records an episode for his YouTube format, Fun with Flags. And this one is on Germany.
Guten Tag, das YouTube. Ich bin ein Bavarian. Und ich bin eine Pretzel. Und this is Sheldon Cooper presents Fun mit Flags.
Okay, that was just really quick, and first of all, it's funny because for a lot of Americans, and that's what they did here, Germany equals Bavaria in a lot of cases, which I think has different reasons historically, but yeah, that was the Bavarian flag. That is not the German flag, and for those of you who don't know, Bavaria is a cultural region within Germany, but it's also nowadays a state, one of 16 states within the Federal Republic of Germany. But yeah, so also it was really funny that they think, I know a lot of Americans do this, there's nothing wrong with that, but that like a word becomes German as soon as you add das in front of the word, like he said das YouTube. No, that's not something that we say. I mean, das is an article in Germany, but yeah, you wouldn't have said that in this context. And then they just use German words in between here and there. They just say like fun mit flags. So yeah, just really funny. Okay, so that was the last scene for today. You guys submitted a lot more scenes. I just couldn't squeeze them all into one video. This is probably gonna be way too long anyways. It's just hard because like you guys sent me so many suggestions. And I think it's really interesting to do this, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these movie scenes, if you could hear the accents, if you are not a German native speaker, what you think of this if you are a German native speaker. And yeah, maybe I can do a sequel of this video in the future, do the rest of the scenes that you guys submitted to me on Instagram, and also you can make new suggestions in the comments below of other scenes in movies or TV shows that I should check out where people are speaking German or are supposed to be native German speakers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can support me on Patreon and buymeacoffee.com. And with that, I hope that everyone's staying safe and healthy, and I hope I'll see you next time. Tschüss!